Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Service Delivery Committee meeting for the 14th of October. Councillor Coles, I'll remind you not to interrupt the chair when she's speaking. Thank you. Okay, now I'd like to invite Hinarangi Kara to open our meeting with a karakia.
A tēnā tātou ata mārie kia tātou, te whare, tēnei paki ohewa. Kei noi tātou. Tu taua mai I runga, tu taua mai I raro, kia taua ai te Māori tū, te Māori ora, mo te kingitanga, mo te ao katoa, haumi e hui e, tāe ki e.
Thank you. Now, do we have any apologies? I understand that Mike Pettit is an apology, but I think everyone else is here. Oh, and you're going to move, right? Lou's going to move, and my favourite councillor, Philip Cole's going to second it. All in favour, please say aye.
Happy to respond to my favourite chairperson.
Are there any late items? No, great. Okay. Oh, okay. Are there any disclosures of members' interests? Oh, great. Okay, and then I've done the late items, so now could we confirm the order of the meeting, please? Who would like to move that? Susan's going to move, and a seconder, Philip again. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Roger. And I didn't acknowledge you online. I'm really pleased that you could join us for the meeting. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
so the next item is confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting. They've been pre-circulated. Is there anyone that'd like to move that they're a true and correct record? Marcus and a seconder, Andrew, all in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Thank you. All right. So we now have the report from the Waipa Community Facilities Trust. So I'd like to invite, I can see Matt and Shane there, and I'm expecting Brad. Would you like to come to the table? Thanks. Shane Walsh, yeah.
Morena tātou. It's been 6 months, or I think 6 months since we last had these gentlemen in the seat, so no grand new introductions. I'm sure you'll all be very familiar with both Shane, the chair, and Matt, the CEO of Waipa Community Facilities Trust. And I will hand straight over to them to deliver their report.
Morning, Madam Chair, councillors and everybody. We wanted to present today on our annual report for the 2023-2024 progress. I'm not sure if we can get that up. So we're just reporting on the non-financial and the financial report on how well the trust has done. Annual visits in its total across the board, we've done really well this year. In the history since the trust has taken over the facilities, we cracked the 400,000, which is pretty good with a population of about 50,000 in the Waipa. So it's quite well done. And if you break it down, the TA side, I think had about 14,000 people in the radius of about 5K, but you're probably out of town in 2K. And it averaged out to be about 17 visits per head of population for the TA side, which is pretty well done. And it's about 7 visits per head of population on the Cambridge side. So we're pretty pleased with that. So the outcome's almost, well, it is almost 41,000, about 11% increase. And pretty good with the economic climate that we're in. Just a breakdown of the TA side, up again from last year. The significant upgrade on that side would be we've really concentrated on our gym and our stadium side. Put a lot of emphasis on trying to get more events and more people into the gym because that's a commercial aspect of our community-run trust, so it helps reduce those ratepayer costs. And so that's up about 12% in that area. Livingston Aquatics, that's just the pool side of the TA. It's about on par with last year, $2,000 or just under 2,000 up, about 1,300. So we're still keeping and maintaining those people through there. Perry Aquatic Centre, pretty good because now it's established and it's probably in its 3rd/4th year. And people know where it is there now, and the swim school's established, and people know, actually coming out of the regions and even from this side to travel to that side. It's a fantastic facility and it's well used. So you can see the increase, almost 15,000 people, almost 10%, or 9.9%. So currently tracking in the first quarter of this year above that. So hopefully, we do all right. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag on there. And then you can just see the tracking of the visitors. The dip in May, that's our maintenance period. So we just didn't have people stop. We closed the pools, keep the other services going. That's the dip. Here's the stadium numbers. That's the change. So almost 46% concentrating and getting things done. The stadium was the most hit by COVID, and it took a while to get out and get people involved and start those community sports and events back up. And this, once again, this first quarter, we're even tracking better than that. So once again, a great achievement by the staff there, working hard. Club Waipa, another steady increase, and there's a number of gym facilities or competition, especially within TA. I think there's probably 7 or 8 other BFTs and gyms and things like that. And we still seem to be increasing our membership. Our membership base cracked the 1,300 last month from a report from our gym manager. So that's pretty good with the amount of gyms that we've got. And we offer good services, not only the gym, they get the pools and they get the other facility in Cambridge as well. So for the bang for buck, they're pretty well spoiled in the Waipa regions. Swim Waipa continues to increase. That, however, is starting to peak a little bit. So we're currently looking at offering a different type of service as well, trying to improve that. And we'll see how that comes out. We're just doing an investigation now, and that should probably be implemented hopefully halfway through this year. And then next year we'll see the fruition of that going forward. Health and safety, with more people, you normally have more accidents and incidents, and we report from, if we give you even a Band-Aid or an ice pack, we report that. So while they seem high, the numbers are pretty low for 400,000 people in a high activity, a range of different people, fitnesses, abilities, and ages, but pretty good. The main thing is we had no notifiable events, which is a stunning one. And the trespasses went down significantly from the year previously, which would have been that COVID hangover, and I think libraries and everybody kind of got it from the public. Benchmark water quality, we've maintained 94%, well above the national standard of 85. So when you come in, you should get nice, clean, clear water and be pretty good. Feedback, you can see the compliments are up. And when we say compliments, we get compliments every day, but these actually written ones come in, and even the negative feedback is written in. So these are written ones that we get. So across the board, valid complaints are up a little bit. Unfortunately, we work hard on those. Non-valid are up as well. People still like to voice their opinion, but it's good to see the compliments are still up. Renewals. So there's a number of renewals. We spent about 218,000 last year, reinvestment back into the centres as well. So there was also some overflow from the previous year where we had a significant issue with the structural wall in the plant room where the chlorine had kind of eaten away the rebar in the wall, and we had to get that done unannounced, which was quoted at around 100K. We managed to get it down to about 75,000, 76,000, things like that. And we'll continue to reinvest. Some different events. So for the people that like cats, we have the Mid-Island Cat Show. Don't come away with a hairball on that, but we also got the table tennis, and there's a number of other events that we've got coming in the new year that we've done. And we had the national powerlifting in there, which we've never had before, and we really worked hard trying to grow that side of the business on top of our general club and things like that. So these are just pictures of things happening in the event centre. Full school swimming sports. It doesn't look like many people are at the pools, but that's a 50-metre pool, and they're indoors and outdoors, and it's just trying to get a photo that indicates that. Annual survey, sorry, I've just gone too far. Our annual customer satisfaction survey. We had 1,113 respondents in the 3 weeks, which was up 406 respondents. So obviously a lot of people like to respond to it. We raised it by about 3% overall. And we went from a good performance, but to very good, which is pretty good in a customer facing business and things like that. I suppose the main one for everyone is the money wise. As you can see, I don't want to go too much into the detail, but surplus deficit before tax, we've had about 193,000 that we're holding to for projects that we've got as well. We've had the outdoor 50 quoted, and it's 100,000 just to paint the pool by itself and things like that. And the problem with the pool at Cambridge is the water table is pretty high, and you can only do it in the summer, and it's when the pool opens and the public want it and things like that. So we were hoping it would last 3 years. It's probably lasted about 2.5 years. If Sally is here, she's reminded me constantly that the lines aren't working too well in there, but it's trying to get the right time. Just joking, Sally, wherever you are. But she's a heavy user, which is good to see. And the lines that tell you where to go, we have a lot of walkers in the outside pool, so their feet rub it quite a bit. And aqua jogging, where we can get up to 60, 70 in the class when it's nice in the summer. So not as good as last year, but still positive. The main thing, and this is probably the key one, is how it affects the ratepayers. And our biggest boast, I guess, if that's the right word, humbly, I guess, is last year it cost $15.12 per ratepayer to use the cost to pay that run the facilities. And we dropped that by $1 per person, or $1.02 to $14.10. And we raised the equity a bit too. So cost to annual ratepayer that the council ratepayers put in, 109 or 100, just under 110, that dropped from 114, and the trust's contribution went from 113 and went up to 112 to save the ratepayer there. So we're pretty proud of that, especially in the current climate we're in. And obviously we'll try to keep doing that and try and keep the prices, you know, as best we can for the thing, but everything else is going up. Sure.
Yeah.
You want to answer that?
Yeah, so thank you, Matt, for that. So just a bit of a heads up. I don't have to tell this group that prices are increasing in everything, and the pool is no exception. And our boilers are gas-fired, and the price of gas has gone up 96% in 1 year, and that's going to result in an extra $300,000 cost to us in terms of running the pools. So I'm just giving you a heads up. You need to have a really close look at the operating funding that you provide, and it's going to have to come up. If it doesn't come up, what are our other options? Our other options are we increase the cost to the ratepayers of using the pool. We don't really want to do that. We think we're about where we should be. And I think the other thing we need to do is to look at the fact that we use gas, what other alternatives are there, and we need to think about the long term for Waipa, or whether there's some other energy that we can use instead of that for long-term savings. So just a heads up from the trust to this group to say, please increase the funding because we have increased costs, and I'm sure you understand that.
Oh, look, I really appreciate you raising that in this forum today, Shane. And I'm just going to check whether or not you've already started a conversation, you know, with our finance people on that.
we haven't started the conversation with your finance people, but we've certainly started the conversation with Brad
Yeah, yeah.
and Sally on
Okay,
that, so.
no, that's great. Excellent. All right. So that's the end of your report?
Well, just one other thing. So as a trust, we're always making sure, and we're very pleased that we've increased the amount of people that come to the event centre, and that's been highlighted around this room in the past. That is something we needed to do, and we have. And pickleball, we've had a bit of a talk about that. That has started and very successfully so. So we believe that will just keep growing.
I love it.
Yeah,
It's
good,
like,
good.
you should see me go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's freaking awesome. And the amount of people there, like, using the space.
Yep,
Like, it's good.
yep.
We need some
exactly.
more courts though, please.
Yep, absolutely. So, for those who don't play pickleball, yet, in the USA, I think there's 16 million people play it. 50% of them are over the age of 50. So it's a great sport for an aging population. No. A good point. Yeah. So,
Our injuries will go up if you attend, so.
So a pickleball, you use a badminton court for a pickleball, and we have 8 of them. So at the moment, we've half of the areas used, so we're using 4, but we know it's going to rapidly grow for the whole space. So anyway, that's a success story. And the second thing we just want to mention, sorry.
Oh, you carry, we want you to finish your report and then I'll open up the floor to questions.
And so the second thing is we have done an audit of our swimming school because we think we can do better. The audit has been done and we have got the results, and now we're working on items to improve the performance of that particular part of our business. We think we can do better. So just that's all the points I wanted to make.
Okay, thank you, Shane. All right, so I'm really pleased to receive your report. Now, any questions? Oh, Councillor Coles, would you like to go first, and then Andrew?
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for your report. Not a question, but on pickleball, if there's a corporate evening, we could form a team, and if Marcus is
Yeah,
playing,
Marcus
he
be our
could be
leader.
captain. So how about that?
Yeah.
That'd be really good if we could join in.
Yes, yeah, and
Let's
I would
form
have
a-
the pleasure of leading a team from the Waipa Community
Yeah,
Utility
I
Trust
reckon.
that would beat you.
Yeah, okay, that sounds, okay, the competition's on. So, no question, just a comment.
Our general age is probably around 23.
You're just trying to intimidate
Yeah,
us.
I bring it up a little bit, sorry.
Oh, right, so now Andrew and then Liz.
Yeah, just on the gas thing, you know, I have no idea what the alternatives could be, except solar, of course, is the flavour of the month and whatever. I just thought I'd mention, I believe the airport is doing quite a bit in that space, in solar farm and whatever, and they could be a good source of information to you know, put you on the right path to progress that if there's any possibility of that working.
Yeah.
Can I just reply? One of the challenges as an operator, through Madam Chair, sorry. The reason why we like gas is because it maintains levels of service pretty quickly. Alternative solutions, for example, if we have a closure for maintenance and empty the pools and maintain them, they could take up to a week and a half just to get the pools up to 10, even though the maintenance has been done. So then obviously the return and the services provided are reduced. So there are changes with alternative services, and as long as it's highlighted and we understand that, you know, operationally in the public.
Now, just on this point, Councillor Montgomery would just like to make a comment.
Just to your point, Andrew, seeing I'm chair of the Climate Change and Sustainability Committee, we've been spending a bit of time talking about this because something just roughly like a third of our emissions are the 2 pools gas usage. And so there is a bit of early stage thinking going in. The electric heat pumps are now able to operate in that kind of space. So like it'll be a significant kind of capital investment, but very early stage talk. Yeah, and kind of that's where it's being generated in council. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. And I think Brad wants to respond to that as well.
Yeah, and if I can elaborate on, through the chair, on Councillor Montgomery's point there. Martin Lynch, some of you may be familiar with him. He works for CoLab across the different councils. And so recently, I think it was the Huntley pool have just put in hot water heat pumps. And so we will be looking to get him to do a bit of a feasibility for us, a bit of work around what that looks like for us, but taking on the trust point of view is around the level of service as well. There could be a hybrid model where we have the heat pumps working for most of the time, but maybe we retain one of the boilers as a backup just in case. And while I've got the mic, if that's okay, through the chair, just to allude to the point around the finances of the 96% gas rise as well. As we build our long-term plan budgets to be considered going forward, we have incorporated those new costs into that at the moment. But there obviously is the new contract which starts, I think, at the end of this month, which is our gap in funding at the moment. And that's hitting all of us and our other areas of business as well, not just with the pools. Gas supply is a struggle at the moment nationally. That won't be a surprise to anyone. And so we've got a 12-month contract, but they're not sort of guaranteeing any further to that. It's all of government contract. And we have typically been going on a 3-year contract, but that's been pulled back to 12 months while we have the uncertainty of supply. So a bit of update for you there.
Oh, look, I really appreciate the extra, oh, you want to say something on that same topic? Yeah.
Yeah, so very, pleased to hear all that progressing, but I didn't get a chance to congratulate you guys on a fabulous job. Well done. But, you know, it absolutely is. I just wanted to.
Yeah, thanks. Look, I just wanted to acknowledge that we, obviously the gas issue is a challenge, but it's really encouraging to see all the discussions and extra work that's going on with it. Obviously, it hasn't been resolved yet, but I'm confident that, there'll be something that comes out of all this. Yeah, great work. Thanks. All right. So I think the next person was Liz, is that right?
I think so, yeah. Hey, I'm really pleased to hear about the work that you're doing to have a look at the swim school. So I'm not, I guess, too interested in the Learn to Swim because I know that that's very popular, but the swim school that I guess was operating under supervision of parents and volunteer helps and things like that was quite successful. I think we're up to 150, 200 students, in previous years. And that has decreased is what I understand because I've had some feedback recently. So yeah, I guess you're wanting to turn it around. I'm really wanting to see that turned around again. It's that competitive swimming, isn't it? And that's the bit that I guess you're focusing on. I just wanted to just double check that that's correct.
Oh, she just turned it off.
I was going to turn it off, sorry. Oh, great. Maybe I wanted her off after that question.
Sorry.
Madam Chair, yes, there's 2 key things that we wanted to do and improve, and it's probably 3 really, but 2 key things was the communication and being able to provide that service and payments and being able to visually see where your child is on the Learn to Swim side. Squads are a challenge because there's so many options for kids and it's hard work to be a competitive swimmer. Get up in the morning, swim Ks on end, look at that black line back and forth. And kids aren't what they used to be. It's not that they can't do it. There's just so many options for them. So that's a challenge. And I think nationally, our swim programs competitively are slowly dwindling. And we do have some key ones. And even though we've got some great swimmers, when it came to the Olympics, it's not, we're not getting medals in the swimming side. And I think it's, the rowing and the swimming when you got to get up and do the yards and things. Kids, they rather become NBA players and things like that, rugby players and netball and touch hockey league, pickleball stars. So those are the challenges that we do have. And we did amalgamate both the clubs, which was tough work because, there's a bit of history between the clubs. But if they didn't amalgamate, they would probably, have a slow death. So that is a challenge for us, and it's trying to identify. So if we get it's the pinnacle, you have a strong base, and then you try and introduce them to swimming events, and whether they stick to it or not. So we've got about 30 currently that are competitive registered swimmers at the moment, but our base is a lot bigger, and it's trying to develop that program and have key points of contact in the coaches to then encourage them and get them into the sport. A lot of them, when they start showing potential and getting really good, they're off to university, so then they'll go swim at other clubs and things like that. So one of our things that we want to do is, or our long-term vision, or goal, is to probably have one of the best nationally age group kind of people. So we have, get to national age groups and have a strong club that way. And by default, whether they move to Hamilton or Auckland, Wellington, where the main centres are for education or further jobs and things, that we do pretty well nationally. That's kind of realistically what we're trying to achieve, I guess, going long term.
And I guess that was my only point. You've recognised the opportunity that you see in front of you. So it would be, interesting to see how you go at your next report as to how that's going. But just, second to that, I did, I guess, comment in past reports, around wanting to see the usage of the stadium. And I think, I can absolutely see that that's starting to, get some momentum. I did attend the Cat Show. It was very costly in the sense that, not the entrance fees, but I now have to upgrade my cats because the hay barn cats don't cut it anymore. There were some lovely cats there. So those are the sorts of things that really add value to a community when you've got the pickleball and all the other things that you're offering. And I know that that's always been an option, but it's about the community continuing to take up, and seeing the facilities and making sure that they're utilising them. So lastly, just following on from Andrew, Shane, I know that, you're a volunteer in your role, and just want to thank the board, all your board members, for the ongoing work and commitment, because, it's a big ask, really. When we set up this trust many, many years ago, it always was to be community led, and I think you're doing a sterling job of that. So thanks to you and the board, and thanks to Matt. I mean, you've had some great continuity as CEO, and I think that's great for us, because it means that we don't we've always got forward momentum with you. So thanks for everything.
Thank you. Yeah, and I just want to say that if we get complaints from council about them parking on the fields, then we're doing our job at the stadium. So, we've had a few events where probably Brad's and lawns might be getting hammered by people parking there. We don't encourage it, I'm just saying that. So, but we're having some really good events lately that are filling the stadium up for more than just a day and things like that. So quite pleased.
Oh, excellent. All right. So, no more questions? Okay. Look, I just think it's an outstanding report that you've brought to us today, and it just reflects, I think, the amazing job both your team, Matt, are doing, and as Liz had said, what the board is achieving as well under your leadership. So thank you, Shane, as well. Really encouraging to see that. I suppose the stats were cracking the 400,000 visitors, and I think it just shows what I suppose the enriching and sort of enlivening that you're achieving through the community. So well done, everyone. And look forward to seeing how those issues are going to get resolved in the future. So with that,
Sorry,
Susan.
sorry, Claire,
Yeah.
just something just crossed my mind, and it sort of dovetails into what you've just said, into what Liz has just touched on. Last week, I had the opportunity to have a chat with Minister Bishop about obviously all things infrastructure, and the issues obviously in terms of this government around growing our housing stock and so on and so forth. Sort of underscored to him the importance of social investment. And, not only in the places of schools and medical facilities, but it's facilities like the ones you manage for us. And it certainly bears out in the data you've produced today via the report, the absolute need for these facilities. And it's really heartening to see that although there's still the subsidisation by a ratepayer, it's bringing it down, and all of the non-financial benefits these sorts of facilities provide for our communities, much as Liz has sort of pointed out around the gathering places for cat shows, and I see ACT meetings. That's kind of interesting, but each party meetings, you know,
We
like.
take all parties, we take all
Yeah,
parties.
yeah, wipe your tears on the check. Yeah, but yeah, look, I just wanted to underscore the importance of that social investment, and even though we're in a really challenged financial scenario right now, we can't take our eye off that long game and the need for these sorts of this sort of investment to make our places not just a collection of houses, but actually homes and communities. So thanks very much.
Oh, and Andrew.
Very final last word. Just let me know when the next cat show is and I'll bring Graham.
The annual, so May last year, was it May this year? So it'll be May next year or April, so it'll be, yeah, May, April next year.
All right. So with that, do I have a mover or a seconder to receive? Bids? Okay, Susan's going to move and a seconder, Dale Marie. Thank you. All in favour, please say aye. Against? Thank you. Always wonderful to hear you guys tell your story. Yeah, and all the very best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, and so the next item is a request for new road and reserves name. We've got James Brott and an offsider. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I've got you too soon. Sorry. I was just looking at my list and missed the contract signed under delegation. I'm sorry. And Dawn, you usually speak to this, don't you?
Kia ora koutou. Thank you, Madam Chair. This one is, as is described, wastewater pipe bridge. It's over the Mangahoe stream here in Te Amutu, linking from the T11 growth cell across the stream and through to Park Road and bringing a wastewater pipe through to the Albert Park pump station. It has been procured separately from the actual wastewater pipe itself, and Bridget New Zealand Limited, the supplier, have previously delivered great work in terms of a number of other bridges that they've delivered, particularly through Chanel Place, Memorial Park. So that will just be a wastewater pipe bridge for now, but it has the capacity in the future to be upgraded to support walkway and cycleway. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Okay, so Lou's going to move and Andrew's going to second. All in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you. James, I need to call you back. Thank you for your understanding here. So we've got a request for a new road and reserve names. Yeah, so happy to hand over to you to speak to your item. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, councillors. Yeah, basically we have a few new road names and the C2 growth sale in Cambridge, and we also have a new Parks and Reserve name in Cambridge as well, and the same growth sale. I take the report as being read. Does anyone have any questions?
Okay, so any questions? No questions, looks pretty straightforward. Okay, and so happy to move. Thank you, Philip, and seconder. Thank you, Bruce. All in favour, please say aye. Against? Carried. Thank you.
Thank
Speaks
you.
for itself. Thank you. Cool. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our agenda. So I would like to call on Hinerangi Kara. Would you kindly provide us with a closing karakia? Thank you.
Tēnā tātou, whakairia te tapu, kia wātea ai te ara, kia turu ki whakataha ai, kia turu ki whakataha ai. Haumi e hui e, tai ki e.
Thank you. All right, so I thought we would have a morning tea break. I'm just going to ask Dawn if you could just give us a bit of background on what's happening with the workshops, because I don't think they're going to proceed at the moment.